Hey everybody, welcome back to Living Large Camping.
We made it to Little Rock today and we thought it would be something fun and different to hike here. It is Pinnacle Mountain. I think the elevation gain is 750 or something like that, which is pretty big for anything around Texas or Arkansas. So we're excited.
If you watched our last video, you know we worked our way east from like the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and then we have made it into Arkansas now, and we have some family events that we're going to be attending here, so we can't wait to see all of that side of my family. But we figured we would do this hike first here, and then I think we've got some fun plans for the camper itself whenever we get back after all of our family stuff that we will bring you guys along with. So I hope you enjoy the video, and let's go check out the hike.
Woo!
Take me to the ruins, aquifers and springs, baby ferns uncurling, every living thing. Be to me.
And so it begins. So on all trails, it labels this hike difficult, which for us it scared us a little bit, but we only feel like a difficult in Colorado is something that's insane, whereas maybe Arkansas, it actually is, you know, moderately challenging. So I think the whole way up is, well, up. We haven't stopped climbing stairs, so it's gonna get our heart rate up and it'll be a nice way to kind of end the day.
Fields of chamomile, all at once in a dream. We are together. You could call it a vision or a tether.
It is supposed to rain tonight. Hopefully it'll hold off until we're at least down the mountain here, because these rocks are very slick. You can tell that a lot of people hike this trail, but if they get a little bit of rain on them, I'm sure going down is not going to be very fun. Can't wait to see what the top looks like though.
Water. Perfect way to drink.
Good.
Good boy treats. We're about halfway there. We just had a water break. Barky's having another one, even though I just carried him. But this hike is gorgeous. The rock scramble, I guess is what you call it, is kind of fun. We don't do a lot of hikes like this, so it's kind of fun and different. I'm excited to get to the top.
To the right.
I'm sweating.
This way.
I had you. I will say, it is so hard to see because there's so many leaves on the ground. So when you try to step, you just slide in the leaves. Just taking a little leap of faith. But we're almost there. Made it! The colors, you can tell there's still some red hanging on, so it's gorgeous. It's really gonna be hard to show you guys on camera. Just trust us, picture a little bit of color in the background. If you're in the area, I highly recommend this hike, but be prepared.
It is starting to sprinkle a little bit, so we are gonna work our way back down. It's definitely gonna be harder than coming up. So yeah, hopefully that works.
Got that one. Okay, well that just showed it, but these leaves that have piled up are slippery, more slippery than the rocks. So going down is definitely more difficult. I'll have you know, I can't stop singing the Rocky song in my head. So that makes it a little better, right? Da 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 da. Makes me feel better, I don't know. Well, the tough part wasn't so tough on the way down. It was definitely harder on the way up. So that was kind of nice. We're almost to the bottom, and yeah, that's all I got. I don't know what else to say. We're almost to the bottom. Made it. Okay. Oh, do you hear that, Barky? That's from Robert. Say thanks, Robert. That's what we hiked.
Do it again?
Makes me feel pretty good. Yeah, I'd do it again.
That was a perfect way to kill a little bit of time here because we don't have anything going on this afternoon. So I'm glad we went and found this hike at Pinnacle Mountain. Definitely worth doing. You can get like, I don't know, 2/3 of the way up without hitting any serious rocks. So if you're kind of worried about that part, you can do most of the hike and see some of the views without getting to that area. It is free, which is really nice, and I didn't expect it. I figured we'd have to pay an entrance fee. So it's very cool that Arkansas is able to provide this free to the public. I would have paid definitely because it was worth it, and great start to the day.
It was so beautiful. Like we said earlier, if it was a bluebird day, it would have been gorgeous and shown all the colors a little bit better, but we'll see you guys tomorrow.
Not sure exactly what we're going to be doing with family and stuff like that, so we'll touch base with you guys and maybe show you a little bit, but for now, hope you have a good day. Alright, fast forward a couple days. As you can tell, we are no longer in Arkansas. At least you should be able to because there's no pretty trees. But yeah, we ended up having a great family reunion. There were about 50 of us there, which was an awesome time. Some new faces, lots of old faces, and just a great time with family. It's been a couple years since we had done it, so I was very happy that we were able to do it again. And Amelia got to meet most of them.
Yes.
Yeah. So Bruce and Becky, thank you so much for hosting us there. David and Nancy, thank you so much for letting us sleep in your driveway. It makes it really easy for us traveling in the camper. And yeah, we just really enjoyed spending time with family, and now we're back to the DFW area.
But we wanted to switch things up a little bit in this part of the video. We went and got some holiday decorations for the camper. So we are going to spend the night decorating with you all for Christmas. And while we do it, we're gonna answer questions that we've gotten from you all or things that we think first-time campers or anyone would like to hear. So, let's get Christmas going.
There we go.
All right, we're going this way. I'm so excited. It's about halfway through December, so the camper just needs a little bit of holiday spirit, and I think it's gonna be really fun to decorate.
We're so excited to do it because it just makes it feel so homey in here, and it is our home, so we might as well enjoy it that way. And like Amelia said, we are going to go ahead and answer a couple of the questions that we get a lot, and ones that we just think may provide a little bit more insight to who we are and why we're doing this lifestyle. So we hope you guys enjoy that style of video, and we're excited to share more about ourselves with you guys.
All right, our first decoration. Fits like a glove.
Now that we got the first decoration up, we can answer the first question, and that is where we're from, how we grew up. I grew up in the DFW area, born and raised, and I stayed home for my first year of college where I worked, and I actually welded through high school and that first year. I used to build trailers, and that's kind of where my passion for camping and rebuilding things came. And then I went to TCU in Fort Worth. I studied economics, and then my minor was energy and technology management. So there's a reason that we love working with different power brands and stuff like that, because I really do love solar power and just ways to make energy without having to plug into a house and stuff like that. That's where all my passion comes from. And now to Amelia.
Okay, so if you don't already know, I am from Florida, the East Coast, and I absolutely loved it growing up there. But because I grew up in Florida along the beaches, I wanted something completely different when I went to college. So I did that, and that is how Connor and I met, which basically segues into our next question. How did the two of you meet? Do you want to tell it, or you want me to tell it? I feel like you tell it better.
All right, so we both did fraternities and sororities while we were at school, and we were at a formal event there, and it was actually at Cowboy Stadium, and we were there. We both went with different friends, and it got late in the night, and we were some of the last people there. She was dancing alone. I saw her across, and I thought, wow, that girl's too pretty to be dancing alone. And so I went over and introduced myself. Turns out we had some mutual friends, and just started talking to each other and getting to know each other from there.
Mm-hmm.
We did that for a couple of months, and then she went abroad for a semester, and here we are.
I would say the cutest part of this whole story is when I was abroad, he would write me letters and postcards, and him and I would communicate, obviously through text, but our main form of communication was through postcards and letters, and we both still have them to this day. So that was about 6 years ago almost, and yeah.
I guess it was almost crazy.
Yeah, it makes me blush if you can't tell.
While she was abroad for that semester of time, that's whenever I decided to build the cargo trailer. If you have been around for that long, thank you so much for sticking around. That was years ago. That was, well, 5 years ago now.
Yeah.
And it was something that I really wanted to do. It was right after I had just finished building trailers welding-wise. And originally I wanted to build a tiny house on a trailer from scratch, stick-framed and all that. But I only had 2 weeks to do it. So I decided that a cargo trailer was going to be a much faster way to get us camping on the road, and it ended up being a lot cheaper, and it was the perfect option. But that's the original thought, was to build a stick-framed tiny house on a trailer, but it was gonna be heavy and expensive, and I was gonna be way in over my head. So the cargo trailer was very manageable, and if you have been around since then, leave that in the comments, because I would love to know who the original viewers are. It was a long time ago, and we'll post some pictures of that cargo trailer while we're talking, just because I thought it was awesome, and it was the first camper she ever camped in.
Going off what Connor said with the cargo trailer, that was the first time I ever went camping. Even growing up in Florida, I never did it. As a kid, my family were travelers, and we loved to do things outdoors, but camping was never one of them. So I had no idea what I was getting into. When you see me in these videos that we've been doing it for a year and a half, I've just learned everything through him and just doing it. So if you feel like you can never get into camping, or it's a little bit too intimidating, I'm your example that you can do it, and I promise it's fun and you'll learn a lot. All right, where's the towel? Oh, so cute.
Alright, next thing that we're going to talk about is all of the different camper setups that we've had. We have been in this truck camper for over a year and a half now, and it is by far our favorite setup in the terms of ease of travel, and it just has all the amenities that we could ask for in a camper. But to start it out, I guess the first thing that I've had that you, Amelia, never actually got to camp in with was the custom trailer that I built when I was in high school. I was part of FFA, and I showed it all around the state of Texas and won a whole bunch of awards with it. But it was my senior project, and we'll post some videos here. It had a rooftop tent on it, and that thing was awesome, but we just didn't have anywhere to store it anymore, unfortunately, so I had to pass it on to somebody else that hopefully is still using it. But then we went to the cargo trailer, and like I said, it took me 2 weeks to build. It was incredibly homey and just a great option to get Amelia into camping. I loved doing it. I would absolutely do another one just because they're simple and they pull really well. They're already made pretty decent from the factory, so you don't have to worry too much about that. I loved that thing, and it was, again, it was great. I actually lived in it for like 3.5 months during my second semester senior year of college. It was right before COVID shut everything down, so up from January up until like the end of March, I was actually living in that in one of my friends' backyards, and that was so fun. A very unique experience, one that we'll tell for a long time, but I really liked that. But then again, like everything else, our needs changed and we moved to Dallas for a little bit, so we had to sell the cargo trailer, and then we went to a rooftop tent on the back of my old truck. We did that for a couple trips and it was great, but we were in the winter and it just wasn't very well insulated because it's a tent. So we sold that. We bought a cargo shell, which there's a video of that on the channel whenever we went to Crested Butte, Colorado like 3 years ago. And so if you've seen that video as well, that's where that's from. And that was a great setup, but the truck bed was only 5'7" and I'm 6'2", so it didn't work very well sleeping wise. And it would have been great if it was a 6.5 foot bed or an 8-foot bed, but again, needs were different, so we sold that and we bought the 4-wheel camper. It was a 2006 4-wheel camper Eagle. We bought that in Northwest Arkansas, renovated it. We didn't end up repairing the frame, but it worked great for the 3 or 4 months that we lived in it and the 2+ years that we traveled with it. So that was the 4-wheel camper, and then we found Lance, and now she's all different than the day we bought her.
Like Connor said, we have had so many different setups, but honestly, I would not change it for anything because each setup told us and had us learn something different. And like he said, each setup is perfect for whatever you need in that point of life. So if you feel stuck or you want to sell a camper and get something new, it's because your needs are changing, and there's nothing wrong with that because I honestly don't think there's any perfect camper. It just is whatever you need. Space, functionality, or minimalism. All right, what's the next question?
What would you change in your truck camper?
Electric jacks. I know we have probably complained about it a lot to you guys, but it is true, especially taking it on and off this entire season being with Connor's mom. The other one would be more counter space because we cook a lot in here and we're always editing, and the room fills up quickly. It looks like it's pretty spacious in here, but it is only 100 feet and it gets tight pretty quickly.
A couple of things that I would love to change are larger holding tanks. We have 24 gallons of fresh water, 10 gallons of gray water, and 11 gallons of black. If we could at least double all of those, that would be fantastic, just because it would stretch the time in between dumping, which we can usually go about a week right now, so that'd be 2 weeks, which would really be ideal. Again, not a huge game changer. Finding dump stations is not that big of a deal. For me, I'm 6'2". This camper is only like 6'6" on the inside. Some of the ones are a little bit taller, and so it would have more headroom in the bathroom. I really don't fit very well. It's also very tight and narrow, so a slightly wider camper would make the bathroom wider, and that would be a little more comfortable, but again, not the end of the world. And the final thing I would say is the refrigerator. This thing is fine. But there's a lot better ones on the market, and we've considered replacing this one. We just don't necessarily know if it's worth it. If we ever upgrade down the line and get something slightly bigger that solves all these needs, then we would dive in and replace the fridge. But for now, it's been fine.
All right, our next question that we are going to answer together is our top 3 states that we were surprised by so far and that we loved.
We're going to leave Colorado out of this one because you guys know we love going there. There's so much great free camping, but that was always expected with the state. So these are 3 of them that we would like to spend more time in, and yeah, just really surprised us.
Our number 1 is upstate New York.
Yeah, we did the Adirondacks area, and we didn't touch like the Finger Lakes area at all, but it was so pretty driving through, and granted it was like the start of October, so we couldn't have timed it any better. I always hear people say that upstate New York is pretty, but we never expected it to be that pretty, and it was camper friendly, so yeah, we would definitely like to spend more time there at some point. State number 2 is going to be Michigan. She grew up in Michigan. I knew nothing about the entire state. Growing up in the Dallas area, it just wasn't a thing, and we just didn't go up there. So whenever I met Amelia, she brought me there. I instantly fell in love. But then this last summer, we got to see how amazing it was to camp around Michigan, and you got I mean, there's so much shoreline. It is just amazing. Plus you go up into the Upper Peninsula, and just wineries everywhere. Every spot had a great water view. People are great. Could not speak any more highly of Michigan.
Yeah, it's outdoorsy, extremely friendly people, wineries, can't go wrong. I mean, trifecta, honestly. And then the third one is South Carolina. That was honestly the first state the two of us really explored together and didn't know anything about it. I can't wait to go back. I hope we get to go back in 2024, but you never know what's coming.
Yeah, South Carolina was amazing. We loved driving through it. It was kind of a mix of both. Tons of water, small mountains, lots of beautiful trees, and yeah, let us know what your favorite state is that you've camped in that surprised you.
So we can't forget about the real star of the show, Barky. We've gotten a lot of questions about him, so I didn't want to forget him. He is 10 years old, and we've had him ever since he was a puppy. We rescued him originally with my mom, and he was our family dog. And then when I went off to college, she was traveling so much that I asked if I could keep him, and she said sure, which obviously was not an easy decision, but he has been living his best life, being able to travel around the country, and he is just our bestest boy. Breed-wise, we're not quite sure what he is. The vet told us that he is a long-haired Chihuahua miniature pincher mix, but on the road we get a lot of questions that we think that he's a Papillon. He also has long-haired Dachshund tendencies, so we have no idea, but we just know he is the absolute best little adventure dog. He's so chill, as you can tell, and he's even festive for Christmas. Alright, time to decorate the tree.
And for the grand finale.
The best part! Isn't it so cute? We picked it up today. Now for the topper! It looks perfect.
It's great.
What do you think, Barky?
Ready?
I'm ready!
Let's get some more color in there.
Alright, this tree looks so cute. I'm so excited that it's Christmas time. It's definitely one of my favorite holidays, and we're glad to celebrate with you guys.
Hopefully you liked this style of video. I know it started out with a gorgeous hike in the Little Rock area at Pinnacle Mountain. That was amazing, and like I said, we're a few days later, and we just wanted to get a little bit more in the Christmas spirit and to share all of that with you guys. We mentioned it in the last video, but we are juggling some holiday time with family and friends, but we still want to make sure that we are providing for you, and we just appreciate you all being here so much. And yeah, hopefully you enjoyed a little bit of a glimpse in our life, and just wish everybody here a very Merry Christmas.
We hope you guys just learned a little bit more about us, because we are so thankful for you guys, and you are a huge part of our lives. So thank you all for watching, and as always, see you guys next week.
Hope you have a large day. We'll see you then.
Merry Christmas!